The Creator's name has had incorrect vowels inserted into the text, but not as if to fool anyone or to confuse anyone, but specifically so that the Jewish reader knows when he sees those vowels that generally he will be saying Adonai. Depending on the set of vowels, he may be saying Elohim. So there are two major differences in the sets of vowels that are used. It's been pointed out that there's even more divisions than that, but generally they can be broken up into two categories of vowels, two types. The general represents Adonai, with the exception that sometimes the very first vowel, which is a hataf patak, which is a compound schwa, is sometimes reduced to just a simple schwa. And the argument is that because it's sometimes reduced, then therefore it must be that that is the original vowel. It doesn't make sense, because Hebrew custom and tradition tells us clearly that there is a mechanism at work here. And this mechanism is Kri versus Ketiv. That is when you have something that is written, but you read aloud something different. So the word Kri means to read aloud or to say aloud or proclaim. Ketiv means what is written. And this is a documented, we're going to talk about it in just a moment, this well-documented fact, and we know this because when the Hebrew reader comes across the word Yod Heh Waw Heh in the text, without fail he says Adonai, unless of course the very word Adonai appears by Yod Heh Waw Heh. In those cases, so that the reader doesn't say Adonai, Adonai, the scribes changed the vowel points in about 300 places to let you know that it's Elohim here. But those people who propose that Yehovah is correct, they do not endorse Yehovah, even though those vowels are there. They know those are the incorrect vowels, and they say, no, in those cases, those vowels represent Elohim. And every Jew who reads the text there is going to say Elohim when those vowels appear. So it's a very weak argument because, again, you see clearly that this is the consensus. The Jewish Encyclopedia and the Talmud and all types of references. I could go on and on and on. And I am going to give a few examples right here in a moment. But the point is that this is well known and well documented. Now, the name itself, Yod Heh Waw Heh, are vowels. Those letters are vowels. And this is documented fact. We know this by Josephus Flavius of Antiquities of the Jews. He states that the four letters Yod Heh Waw Heh are vowels. He said that about 2,000 years ago. He was a priest after all, and he would know. And about 1,000 years later, Judah Halevi tells us that Yod Heh Waw Heh are vowels, and that the Yod is equivalent to the E sound, the He the Ah, and the Waw the U. So E, Ah, U, or Yahu, like we see in Chazekyahu or Hezekiah's name, in Yeshayahu or Isaiah's name, Eliyahu or Elijah's name, and Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel. And all these examples, we see clearly the progression from the short form Yah, as in Hallelujah, becomes Yahu. This is documented by Clement of Alexandria in the Stromata. He said that the name was Yahu. That was what the Jews said at that time, that they wouldn't say the full name, but they would say Yahu. And we also see that Origen said the same thing, and so did Theodoret, Yahu. We also see in the Dead Sea Scrolls. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, we see fragments of the Septuagint that transliterate the name as Yahu. Not the full name as Yahuwah, but as Yahu, because it had been shortened down. There's a host of information about this very subject that proves this fact that the four letters are semivowels, or vowel consonants, and they can double as such. In Hebrew, we see that Hebrew is mostly a consonant-based language, but that in ancient Hebrew, Yod, Heh, and Waw were used as vowels. That can be demonstrated by comparing the 2,200-year-old scroll of Isaiah in the Dead Sea Scrolls versus the, approximately about 1,000-year document in the Masoretic text of Isaiah. You will see that in the older text, there are no vowel points, obviously, but what you will see is that there are yods and heys and waws in places where there are not in the Masoretic, way more. And the reason being is because the yod, hey, and waw, those letters, were mothers of reading. That's what they call it in Latin, Matres, lectionis. And so therefore, the very name is made up of these mothers of reading, these semivowels. And when you read them, they naturally make the name Yahuwah.